So, if you look at question 1, we have to write the equation, right? So, what was produced in the question? All right, it says water is formed, correct? So, for those of you who are struggling with writing the equation, see how it says water is formed? So, after the yield sign, water is formed, so you make water. Now, what is it formed from? Oxygen reacts with excess hydrogen. Now, Daniela said, what does excess mean? It just means you have plenty of it. You don't really need that word. Oxygen reacts with hydrogen. Now, both of those are elements by themselves, so you ask yourself, are either on 1 to 7?
Yes.
Yes. They're both 1 to 7, so they get 2. Is the equation balanced? No. So we need to put what on what? 2 on the O, because you've got 2 O's here. So 2 O's there. Now how many H's did you make? 4. So we're going to put what here? Very good. Everybody good with that? All right, so drawing our chart that we talked about yesterday. What's our starting data? Find your number. 35.86 moles of oxygen. So what goes on our bottom line? Moles of oxygen. Are we changing compounds? So we put what unit on the top? All right, what did they ask us to find? Moles of water. Remember, find your question word. How many? All right, how many moles of water? So what are we changing to on top? H2O. Now, this has a name. What's it called? A mole ratio. So, if that's called a mole ratio, where do the numbers come from? Coefficients. What's in front of water? 2. What's in front of oxygen? 1. So, what do you do to find the answer? 71.72. All right, we need 4 significant digits because you have 4 in the answer. All right, so 71.72 moles of 2O. Everybody feel okay about that one? Yeah. All right.
These are going to be a little bit higher. Right?
What? The answer? Well, remember, I make up these numbers, so let's just tell them what they are.
Okay, some of them are like really high, and I'm like, I know, you can just see them too.
I wouldn't worry about getting big, scary numbers. I made up all this stuff. That's great. All right. So, moving on. So, looking at the equation. It's written for you. Is it balanced?
No.
No. So, how many iodine do I have? Am I here? So, we're going to put a, and we're going to put a, all right. So, how many, what's wrong? What can you tell me about the aluminum? I'm sorry, iodine. And there's how many? So I can't get 2 and I can't get 3. So what do 2 and 3 have in common? 6. So how do I get 6 on this side? And how do I get 6 on this side?
I get it now.
Okay. Okay. So how many aluminums are here? No. But you put a 2 out front, so there's 2. So I get 2. So how many bromines do we make? I get 6. Yes. Okay. So, everybody okay with that? So what's my starting data? Remember, always find the number. Moles of what? Okay, so 98.5 moles. And which one of those is aluminum iodide? The first one, ALI3. All right, so what has to go on the bottom? Moles of aluminum iodide. All right, are we changing compounds? Yes, it wants to know grams of what? Iodine. So, if we've got to change compounds, what has to go on the top? Moles. So we got to put moles on the top. This is called a what? So this is where we're going to change the compound. What compound do they want us to change it to? So we're going to put iodine. Which one of these is iodine? The last one, I2. All right, this is called what again? Where do our numbers come from in a mole ratio? Coefficient. What's in front of iodine? What's in front of ALI3. Okay, everybody good so far?
Yeah.
All right, if we want moles, we're done. Just like we were up there. If they want moles, they want grams. We're going to another section. Okay, so what am I putting on the bottom? Moles of I2. We got to get it to cancel out. Are we changing compounds? No, because we already did it. So what's going on top? Grams. If we're putting moles in grams, it's not a mole ratio. So I keep the same compound. So I'm putting I2 back on top. Now, what goes beside moles? A 1. Because remember, this is that 1 mole equals gram that you did on the benchmark that we've been doing for weeks now. And what is the mass of I2?
126.
What did Nada say? All right.
Oh,
Now,
I knew it. I was thinking about that.
when you look at this, all right, what's the formula? It's I has how many atoms? 2 times 126.9. So you get roughly 254. This is for boys do not do that. All right, 254, 253 points off. Now, you don't use coefficients to calculate a mass. You do use subscripts. And what's on that I? A subscript of 2. You have to use the subscript. So 2 times that 126.9 gives you that 254. Okay? So when you calculate that, what do you get now? I know it's a big number.
37,000.
So nobody's giving me a 37,000 number. 3.7. Another number. 4 times 10 to the 4 grams of iodine. Huh? Now remember, I rounded to 254. Nada put 253.8. Depends on how you round the math. We might not all round the math the same way. So the answer may vary. That's why you should work on the test. Oh, remember, the next test is true response also. And I can't remember, that test is 12 or 13. There's no more than 15 questions on it. Because they said the answer was 37,000 something. And we're not writing any answers of 37,000 something. We're putting them in scientific notation, right? Remember, anything bigger than 1,000, you need to go ahead and change that scientific notation. Don't leave those answers that large. Okay? Question. Can we look at homework? Okay. Now, most of us got through the front side of the homework of the mole paper without difficulty. All right? Does anyone who did it last night need answer? So my 3 people who were absent. No, I'm not checking. All right, so question 1 on the front side for anybody who's out or just wants the answers, which would be the mole side. Should be 0.128 moles. Number 2 would be 3.8 moles. Number 2 would be 3.8. Number 3 would be 3.75 moles. 4 would be 2.25 moles. And 7. Number 5 would be 7.2 moles. So does anyone need anything on the front side with just the mole? So we feel pretty good about just mole. All right, on the back side, I asked you to do 1B, 2, and 3. So 1B would be 3.4 grams. Number 2 would be 5.53 grams, which you should have rounded to 5.5 because I didn't do significant digits there. 5.5 grams. And number 3 would be 87.5 grams. And again, they don't have to be exact. They should be pretty close, but they don't have to be exact. 3, sure. All right. So in number 3, you have, what equation do you have?
Copper.
Yeah, I can write it down. I'll pop it out of my notebook. copper chloride plus aluminum gives us aluminum chloride plus copper. All right, so it's not balanced, so we're going to say we have 2 copper chlorine, 3 chlorine, so we're going to put a 3 here to make 6, and 2 there to make 6. We'll make 3 copper, so 3 copper, and 2 aluminum. Everybody good with that? They gave us in the question 4.88 moles of copper chloride. So we have 4.88 moles of this. And they asked us for what mass of aluminum. So they're asking us for that in grams. All right, so if we start our chart, we have 4.88 moles of copper 2 chloride. So what's going on the bottom, Emma?
3 moles of copper.
All right, we'll put in the numbers in a second. CuCl2, are we changing compound? So, for moles on top, what compound or element are we changing it to? All right, so this is our mole ratio, so what coefficient did I put here? Okay, so far so good. So, what am I putting down here?
1 mole of aluminum.
Okay, moles of aluminum, are we changing compound? Okay, so you put what here? Good. And what's your mass of aluminum?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. 26.9. What did you have? Multiplied by 3? By 2? Huh? Oh, well, that'll do it. Okay.
Okay, move so long.
All right. Anybody else do anything? Number 2. That was number 3. That's 87.5. How to get the answer? I would, when I was doing it, Ethan, I would multiply 4.88 times 2 times 26.9 because I multiply everything on the top together, and then I divide by 3 because it's on the bottom. Not the only way you have to do it, but that's the way I do it. Okay. All right, everybody good with that one before I do number 2? All right, so number 2, you have calcium plus water. And you get calcium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Is it balanced? No. All right, so when you go to balance it, the first thing I'd notice is I have how many hydrogens here? 4. You got 2 plus 2, which is 4. So I need to put a 2 there. That made 2 O's and 2 O's right there. So the O's are good. 1 Ca, 1 Ca, so that took care of my balance. Okay? So when I look at my question, I have 0.15 moles of water. And it says in the question, how many grams of calcium hydroxide? So I'm looking for grams of calcium hydroxide. All right, so if I start my chart, I have 0.15 moles of water. All right, so what's going on the bottom? Okay, so moles of water. All right, what am I asked to find? Calcium hydroxide. So am I changing compounds? So I'm putting moles on the top. All right, what am I changing it to? So there's my mole ratio. All right, so mole ratios get coefficients. So what coefficient is calcium hydroxide getting? And what's water getting? Fabulous. If I want grams, another section. What goes on the bottom? And what goes on top? Because we're not changing this time. So calcium hydroxide. What goes with calcium hydroxide? Mole. 1. And then we need to add that calcium hydroxide up. So how many calciums are there? How many O's are there? How many H's are there? So times 40 times 16 times 1 gives us 40. 32, 52, 4, 7. Multiply by 74. All total, you're going to get 5.5. Pretty close to that. And you get that.
Oh, I know what it is. I would put one, oh, I really. Did I really?
You want-
Okay, I was originally multiplying, the top of slide by 174, so.
Other questions? Other questions? Alright, let's take a quick look at the benchmarks. Remember what I told you, benchmarks get test correction. After I hand them out, I'll look at my calendar. I haven't even looked at next week. Every question?
Can I get one?
Divide by 39? Yeah, you can answer that. Very long back in there.
These questions were,
I was about to say.
I'm about to do Maria.
Right now. Right now, most things look good. The only thing I'm gonna have to contend with is the band practice. Hopefully I can eliminate that until, well, we can't do Thursday. Because I think I've got my time.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, good. Oh, thank you.
No, I got
Monday. Work. Then we're getting to back off.
I mean, everything on that thing.
Correct.
Oh, there you
Then, or they made me walk on the grass, and they made me walk on the floor. Okay, and I was going to do the question, but then you get my kid. And then when I go, okay, and I go like that, before she,
Please, where?
Looking at the calendar right now, it looks like I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, which is the 4 days, which is the 4 days we're gonna do for step break. Right? I may have to cancel one day, depending on my son's schedule today. But as of right now, the only day I would have to do that to you is Tuesday. All right, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I know it's set. Okay? Tuesday would be the only one. All right, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Given that there are only 39 questions on the test, the average was 78. Only doing your call back. There were 5 points on your lowest test.
What was the average percentage?
78. Which one? That's what I'm talking about. This one, 78. The previous one?
Yeah.
Was a 57.
It's probably like all classes.
That was out of both. But fourth periods would have been higher than y'all, but theirs in the 78, because they added in the 50 other schools who has not had anything that we want. So he's falling just like, which tags their average. And then we'll
Oh.
he came from a charter school and he started with quantum, I know he's recycling.
He won it.
Oh, damn, oh.
He's just,
Oh, that one. Yeah.
anyhow, but he started with quantum theory and the periodic table, so he said none of the math, anything else. So otherwise their average was a high. But anyhow, because it's a 78, it says y'all didn't miss a 20 question.
They kept working off. Daniela.
What kids, the fish?
Oh my God.
The fish would you want, really? Now, there are not a ton of questions that y'all are gonna need to correct, so I'm not feeling urged to extend it beyond this coming week. So make it fit in your schedules if you want test corrections. If you don't want test corrections, that's fine. You can do third lunch if you have third lunch. If you do not have third lunch, I am sincerely sorry. My third period is a challenge. You cannot come during second lunch. Okay? I just can't work with second lunch, not for that. So if you have third lunch, I can do that. Unfortunately, I do not get here early enough in the day to come before school, so I have after school and I have third lunch.
Could you like do like, you know, we come in and grab the test and go out?
So like,
I don't have
I'm
that.
I'm telling you, they can't even handle it.
you quite good. Look at it.
I think it's like a little, oh my God, it's an animal.
I think the biggest problem you would have, for some of you would be, is your phones are going to need my help to get the corrections right. Because it's not just about coming in and filling out the chart. If you do the corrections wrong, you're not getting any points anyway. Okay, if the corrections, if you don't correct the test and do the work right, you don't get any points anyway. So some of you are going to need my help. Okay? I mean, some of you can do the corrections without my help, some of you can't. So just putting them in Dr. Stoltz's room to be able to do it is not going to benefit you during the second one. Now, if you can get someone who knows what they're doing to help you, that would be fine.
Okay. I don't understand. I thought the water was always fun.
No,
What?
no. Right now, but if you want to take it.
I did it and then I got
How about you 0.87? Is the answer to that question, which is the closest answer to your 0.90.
Yeah, I got, but you don't bounce down, you bounce up. I know what
Right there. I was thinking,
Yeah.
that would be.
What the heck is this? I bet Ryan's gonna have a number of it, yeah.
Bro, I put it there.
Yeah. Alright, so you had a chance to look, you had a chance to decide if you want to do them or don't want to do them. If you wish to, you can choose to do this. I don't care if you do them or don't do them. I'm just telling you those are the opportunities you have. Okay, I cannot say today. I'm just telling you, it's the only other test correction you get in the sport. Right? So, I cannot, just say today.
I know what. I had run the night, and I know the difference when I end up there, and I'm gonna go. No, I don't want to see it, if somebody has one. I don't even want to stay here on Friday, that's my.
I used to in my younger years, but I lodged up in my older years.
I don't know. Fridays are for the wrong, I'm gonna go get Emma.
Okay, grab that one. Can I get you a couple? Okay.
Friday doesn't go back up to himself, that it's on my over, every day, on the ground, everything. And I just got on.
Well, they'll teach you about cross-country.
And then I go.
Oh, you're returned. Thank God.
I know.
Did you buy your, my leg is injured story?
We don't have those on. They're only like 45
We just went over and looked at the benchmark. We're doing benchmark corrections next hopefully Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but I might have to cancel on Tuesday. I won't know about Tuesday until next week. All right, let's talk two new problems. For those of you who like to label your notes, the third type of problem is what I have labeled up here at number 2. Now, we're doing the last two new types of problems today. Now, the two problems we did yesterday and on, let's say, what was it? We did yesterday and Friday. We did both problems starting with moles, right? So today, both of the problems are going to start with what? Grams.
I don't like this. I don't know what longer because I've been up longer. This is like you. I think it's number 2. Like I woke up so early compared to like I woke up at 6:30. You can wake up at 7:30 and walk out the door.
Maybe you should sleep in tomorrow.
I know. I'm awake. I'm kind of quiet. This is me. Secretary, I'm gonna be.
Ms. Klein will appreciate that, I'm sure.
Usually I'll out like I feel like
Will you nap during second period now? Will you nap during second period now?
oh, probably.
Oh, that's good.
I'll be out.
Well, people will appreciate that.
Well, no, it's fine. She kind of scares me sometimes. Because she hits people with the broom.
I've got a broom, I can go get it.
Wait, why?
Alright, moving on. I already said it's number 2 on the board.
Did I write it?
I don't care what you write, they're your notes. I'm already having this conversation with you. Now,
Not on my black.
you do not have to write the very first line up there if you don't want to. You need the reaction and you need the question under it. And I would like you to balance the equation. Sometimes that equation is called the diffuse distribution. So balance that before I balance. See if you can balance.
Well, just get a paper.
Huh?
I mess it up. I don't want to.
You just need the reaction and the question under it.
Yeah.
Ah.
If I can be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. I'm not with that. I was about to, I had.
That is important. And you just make sure you got the right answer when we're done.
I'm gonna be wrong.
You like my poetry?
So, very nice. We're all done, right?
Burgundy or maroon if you will.
Really, can stop. Go ahead and start, please. Balance the equation. So we're going back. We're not balance the equation. Yeah, so we're going back. Right. Balance the equation. So you've already balanced. Good.
Had a list. You're making like you see it up.
Yep. sorry, please. All right, so we balance it. All right, so what numbers in front of ammonia? No. A 4 I asked. Not a 2. Not a 1. It's 4. Guys, if you don't have a 4 in front of ammonia, I know you balance wrong.
Oh, no, the whole thing, white out.
Okay. So, for those of us who said 2, all right, how did you attempt to balance it? What did you have up here?
Well,
All right, what did you balance first? Okay, most people. All right, so most people usually start with hydrogen and put a 2 here and say 6 hydrogens, and then they put a 3 and they have 3 hydrogens, so they've got 6 hydrogens. Then they go, okay, there's 2 Ns, and so they put a 2 there and they get 2 Ns. Now, how many O's do you have here? And there's no way to get a 5 here, is there? No. Exactly. Now, we already have a 2. We already have a 2 on the first compound, don't we? So the 2 on the front compound is not going to help us. So what did I tell you to do if a 2 didn't work? I told you to go up to the next even number. So get rid of the 2 and go to the next number, which is a 4. How many N's do we have? Make 4 N's. How do I get 4 N's? You only have 1, so to get 4 N's, we need what? 4. All right, how many H's do we make? 4 times 3 is 12, so how do I get 12 H's? Okay, now add your O's up. 4 plus 6 is 10. Everybody see how they got 10? So how do we get 10 O's? Put a 5 there. Okay? Everybody see how we did it? Okay. Now, that's why I asked you to balance that one. It causes issues for lots of people. Now, starting with your chart, what did they give us? All right, 824 grams of ammonia. What's ammonia's formula? NH3. All right, so what has to go on the bottom line of our chart? Grams of NH3. Now, you're doing the same thing we've been doing all along. You're still going to ask yourself what? All right, are we changing compounds? And the answer is yes. So, if we answer yes, what do you put on the top? You put moles on top. Now, is that a mole ratio?
No.
Okay. This is where people have struggled in the past. All right? This is not a mole ratio. Okay? Do not change the compound. Okay? This is where people want to go ahead and switch it to whatever compound they want. You can't change it yet. It's not a mole ratio yet. This is like the last section that we were doing in the homework and in the opening. This is not a mole ratio. You can't change the compound. So what compound am I putting right back up here? NH3. All right? Now, what goes on the bottom? The formula mass of NH3. How am I going to get that? Okay, so there's 1 N, there's 3 H's, the mass of nitrogen is 14, the mass of hydrogen is 1, so I get 3, I get 14, for a grand total of 17. So I put 17. All right, what do I always put when I go moles to grams? I'm putting the 1 there for moles. Doesn't matter what the coefficient is in front of NH3, moles always gets the 1 when you go moles to grams. That's that old conversion y'all were doing on the benchmark, right? All right, so next section. What goes on the bottom? Moles of NH3, because it's got to cancel out, right? So you start your questions all over again. are we changing compound?
Wait.
Yeah.
Yes, because we haven't done it. Okay? So, what do you have to do if you answer yes? You gotta put moles on the top again. Now, what do you recognize that as if you got a mole over a mole? That's your mole ratio. So, if that's your mole ratio, what do you do if that's your mole ratio? Now you're going to change the compound. So, what compound did they ask us to find in the question? Find your question word. How many moles of H2O? So, what am I putting up here beside my mole? H2O. So, if that's my mole ratio, what goes beside my mole ratio? My coefficient. So, what coefficients am I going to use, Ethan? The 6 and
A 4.
a 4. Okay? So, when you look up here, water has the 6, right? And NH3 has the 4. Now, I think this is the first one we've had where we had numbers in every block on the top, and we had numbers that were not ones in both blocks on the bottom. So make sure that you can get the answer when we punch it in. Because sometimes students have a hard time with getting the answer for one like this. And I got 72.7. Uh-huh. Okay. Everybody good with that? There's 1 step.
What we talking about? Items here?
You're gonna change one thing.
Oh, it'd be like, you know what I'm saying?
I get what, the number?
No.
It'd be everything.
I multiplied here. I multiplied here. I divided here. And I divided here. Okay? Those are both in the denominator. So you divide by both numbers. Okay? You don't multiply by the 4 because it's in the denominator. If you want to multiply by anything on the bottom, you need parentheses. And I don't want to use the parentheses. So I divide by the 17 and divide by the 4. Say what now? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So when you do that problem, you multiply the top, then would be divided by 17, then you be divided by 4.
Yep.
Okay, so you wouldn't add.
No, you would multiply them. But if you wanted to multiply these two numbers, you would need to say parentheses and parentheses if you want to use your multiply key.
Okay, so if we're gonna do this, this is 840.
No, I said 824 times 6, divide 17, divide 4.
So divided and divided.
Because they're both in the denominator, so you're dividing by both numbers. So just hit divide 17, divide 4. And then you can avoid the parentheses keys altogether. Yes, it is. Or some people will multiply the top and write the number down, multiply the bottom and write the number down. But then you have more error with translating the number from the paper back into calculator. Punching in the calculator. Because a lot of people will say 824 times 6. They'll divide 17, and then they say times 4. And you can't say times 4. It messes up the order of operations. All right, everybody got it? Next. All right, let's try one more. This time without the notes. I don't care what you write. We're just going to do the sample. I mean, you've got one in your notes if we just want to work this one. It's up to you. But we have to write the equation this time. Okay? I wrote the equation last time. Y'all are writing the equation this time.
Nobody needs that. I'd rather have to. said you got what element?
Oh, sorry.
I don't like big doors like that. I can get like,
Free enterprise.
I get bad anxiety. I'm getting like 30 minutes.
Oh.
Don't even think.
I like Lowe's. Like, you know, like, I love that.
I was watching a video this morning. I watched that for a second. I didn't feel like listening to it. And so like I was listening to my music and I had a little subcaption on. But they're like automatic generators. They're the funniest thing ever.
Well, it translates when I say the word.
Yeah. But it's not accurate at all.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and then it's like I am so funny. Yeah, I heard.
I can't imagine so. Like, all right, we have it written?
The AirPods.
Tell me what that.
No, because I was watching it and then I was behind me and he started reading them. And then he's like, does he actually touch it though? And I'm like, oh no, I think it's just like automatically.
You're in my head, but you know, internal conversation is free. I can't get fired. My problem with it is
So,
all right, you ready? So, how do we write the equation?
it's
Okay, decomposition is according to Danielle. That's good. That's important to know. So, what else?
That's awesome.
Okay, it's going to break down when we draw the arrow. What's going to break down? Can we be a little more specific?
Mercury.
All right, so what's mercury symbol? Okay, and oxide we know is O, so we need some oxidation numbers. What's mercury's oxidation number? So what happens to them? All right, now, one of the things I would tell y'all, because a lot of y'all, not a lot, a few of you, are still bringing your oxidation numbers down when they're the same. Once you guys get them down here, what do y'all forget to do 9 times out of 10? Reduce them. When you write them down up here and you notice they're the same, do not bring them down, because once you bring them down, you forget to reduce them. Just mark them out so you know they cancel each other out, okay? So, what does it make? All right, you see how it says it forms its constituent elements? Constituent. All right, it forms its constituent elements. That's the same thing as saying what you guys already know, that it breaks down into Hg plus O. Now, because those are elements by themselves, what do you always ask yourself? Are either of them diatomic? Which one? Okay. Is it balanced? Who's not balanced?
Oxygen's not balanced.
So we're going to put what here? And then? Fabulous. All right, so what are we starting with? All right, 125 grams of oxygen. Remember, we always find the number and what's behind it. So, what goes on the bottom line of our chart? Of fabulous. All right, so are we changing compounds? Not yet, but we're going to. So, what do we put on the top? Mole. So, is this our mole ratio step? No. So, can we go ahead and change the compound? No. Alright, now, let's go back to something for just a second. Alright, if we go back to this, and I know it's pretty busy. Look where it has moles over moles. Alright, you see how it says moles over moles right here? The compounds are what? They're different, right? See how I changed the word moles over moles? See how it says moles over grams right here? What do you notice about the compounds? They're the same. So when we're drawing our chart in this one, where we have moles and grams, what do you know about your compounds? They have to stay the same. So what am I going to put on the top line of my chart? I got to stay with O2. I can't change it yet. Okay? I can't change my compound unless I have a mole ratio. That's the function of a mole ratio, is to change the compound. Okay? So this isn't a mole ratio. I can't change it. So what am I going to do with these numbers? What am I going to find? Moles is a what? It's a 1, because I'm going moles to grams. Moles is always a 1. What's the mass of oxygen? There you go. All right, remember, you never use a coefficient, but you always use the subscript, and there's 2 of them, so times 16 is 32. Okay, so those people who were yelling the 32, that's how they got it. Everybody understand how they came up with that number? Yay, nay? Okay, I see the heads bobbing now. All right, so we've got that filled out. What do we put in the bottom of the next section? Moles of O2. So, are we changing compounds? So we put moles on the top line, and what are they asking us to find?
HCO.
Mercury oxide, so which of those is mercury oxide? So we put HGO over here. So, since this is our mole ratio, these numbers come from where? So what's going in front of HGO and in front of oxygen? Fabulous. So what's 125 divided by 16? 7.88?
Yeah.
Do you know?
It was close like that.
Yeah.
It's 7.875.
Why did I say that? Because I did 2 divided by 32. I did this divided by that in my head. And then I did that divided by that. Yeah. I'll change it to 1. I'll change it to 1 if it makes you happy. I never close it up. No, I didn't say it would be wrong. All right. I tried it a couple months ago. I still can't stand it.
I wasn't cooking, that's why.
It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. I can deal with buffets. I can't deal with theirs.
I'm gonna Las Vegas.
I like the roll.
They like, they're close.
Yeah, I think it's lower. I get anxiety of them. Like that apartment story. Have you ever from Steelers?
All right. I want to do 1B, 2, and 3. Some of you will have finished all 3 of them before I stop you. Some of you may have only done 1 before I stop. All right? 1B, 2, and 3. I don't care what you do.
Okay, you said.
Except trying to be in the 1B, 2, and 3.
1B.
So what now? Yes, that's AG2S. It just didn't copy very well.
I'll miss the Christmas because I got to do Christmas. Oh, I hope you miss it.
Not expensive, for a double day. Come on. This is working for us. You can't think time. I don't know how to do why you just quit. I know, but you guys work this fast. I'm just like, I don't have a group. I don't have to learn how to do it more fast. Okay.
Oh, oh, oh,
What you got going on?
I think no more.
You have internet access, no? You just want to know that. You have the ability to watch YouTube. Or you really watch YouTube. Because I had 3 people out yesterday. 3 people made I dealt with the lesson and had homework that I got yesterday. That's a novel concept, I realize. But we're an honors class. Oh, so if they can do it, you can do it. I don't want to hear you're not smart. Because I don't buy that. They just work hard. Do you work? You take the 14.8 grams of calcium chloride. You take the farming data and you put it in your chart. So, I thought you said something more like, no. You still start with that brand, put it in your chart, and go to your chart and find that. This one goes to calcium chloride. Yes, so 14.8 grams, yeah. And then you do the same thing you've been doing, fine. Each one of those is still fine. That's what's cool. Okay? Yes. Hey, Jay, for those who don't have that, tell me what H2O is. What's CS is? What's OC is? So which one's that? Yes, I do that. I know. You have to know that. Okay. Why do it work? But if you do stuff like that, you know, as process of elimination, you do stuff on something like that. Right? So you just eliminate it out. You put one. I mean, that's your stuff. Look outside. Uh, one later. Yeah. Yeah, you're happy with it. I mean, listen. You only have one here. I'm talking about nitrate. I mean, nitrates are here. That's three enzymes. The three is enzymes. We're not counting the three. How many nitrates do you have? Two. How many nitrates are here? So how do I get two here? So we balance the nitrates. Okay, Ag has to be just that. Good. So we get two Ags on the other side. Oh, no, you're right, too. How many Ags are there? Yes. 32, that's out. How many S's are left? How many S's on the other side? How many CAs are on the other side? How many on this side? So, you can write one on over the line to make it happen. That's it. I got this. Oh, yeah. I didn't need that. Wasn't. Right. I haven't been to a cafeteria in a couple of days now. Hardly. So I did. Yeah. I had work. I know all those justice was in there. I was like, I say for the. I mean, I get hungry all the time, but.
I really have no time. I see that word, I like
Y'all done? I don't know how big this plant is. Maybe there's a pet. No, never. I mean, that was terrible. Like, I don't read it. I don't even know what it is. I mean, the ratio is right. But if I put this way, this was three minus gradient, I would be grading the equation and the chart, you would use points here, only because I can't read the equation. Yeah. Yeah, well, I would not give you full credit because I can't, and I would ask my daughter, somebody who's writing, what do these letters say? Did you tell me what that says? They'd be like, oh, they give me their best translation and they'll be like, no, it's wrong. Okay, so you need to write that for me.
Okay. And
Well, no, only if I can't read something, whoever is closest to me, I need to read a letter or a number, I'll ask you for a translation. What do you think this says? Although, I didn't hear maybe yourself on. I'll have my own mode.
this didn't work out.
Yeah, I'll leave it. Do you know your breath comes through these? You can feel the person's going to breath. You hold it here, you can feel their breath.
Yeah, so,
I had to have try it yesterday. I said, so, they gave me their phone, they called me. And they were like, I don't feel any breath. They were trying to tell me that I feel somewhere and it comes through the phone. I could feel their breath. I was like,
3, 5, 1, 2, 3.
couldn't get them. I gave up after 5 minutes. Air, either. Feel any breath come through there? Can you feel breath? Thermal energy translated through the I know they tried to convince me that electromagnetic energy was converted to thermal through the speakers in the phone. The breath was translated through the phone. It doesn't. If I'd have been quick enough, I'd have asked you to smell it too. I don't believe it. I was like, I do.
Oh, God. Oh.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
All right, how about you? Not the back, I don't run under that. Or you could use that.
I got 2 stones for Okay.
Alright, let's look at what you came up with. So, in the first one, if you have an answer, you should have 0.411. In the second one, you should have 1.35. And then the last one, 0.266. It's okay. We need to talk about the last kind of problem. 0.266. All right, for those of you who like titles, the last title is number 4, gram, mole, mole, gram. Now, you do not have to write this. You need the equation and that last problem.
I love that. I'll go with that.
That's why I don't say that. That's not.
I think that's. Yeah. Miss Mine did actually try to teach me this. She tries to teach me, and she teaches me the wrong thing. I'm just like, no. Like, she says one word, and everybody's like, no, sorry, you were right before. Yeah, like, I know. I've noticed one. I'm gonna love it.
Yeah.
All right, we have it?
No.
Hurry up. Stoichiometry? I have no idea. They never tell me that. I don't even hear what you said. I'm usually giving a math or really easy.
We are gonna balance. Can't have it.
What's the point?
All right, so if we look at the equation, is it balanced? No. So all we have is F and H that have 2's on, so we can pick either one. So F has a 2, so we're gonna put a 2 here for F. I mean H is doing make, and H has a 2. So we're good to go. So this one starts in grams and goes to grams, right? So how many steps is this chart gonna need? If you draw a 2-step chart that goes grams to grams, I'm telling you now, you will get no partial credit. None. Everything we have done in the last 2 days tells you in order to change compounds, you have to go through what unit? Mole. If you go grams to grams, you are telling me you know nothing. You are not getting so much as 1 partial credit point. You understand me? Okay? So 30.00 grams of HF. Now, you see how it says HF with 10? That with 10 is just that, so you can write the equation. Since I wrote the equation, that with 10 is not important. It's just HF. Now, I'm not writing all that crap down we've been writing. We've written it in 3 sets of notes at this point, so I'm not writing it again, okay? We're just going to walk through it and talk about it. What goes on the bottom? So, are we changing compounds? Yes, we're going to have to, okay? Now, you can be like a few people who said no, because we're not going to change it yet, but we're going to need to, so yes, we're going to change it eventually. But, is this the mole ratio? All right, so the only thing I'm going to write here is not the ratio. So if this is not the ratio, we know what? That's right. You have to leave it as the same compound on the top. So HF has to go back on top. Okay? Because it's not the ratio, you cannot change the compound. That's the biggest thing that you have to keep in mind. If it's not the ratio, we cannot change the compound. Now, I'm going to come back to the numbers this time. What goes on the bottom? Moles of HF. Are we changing compound? Yes. This time, what did I just create? This one is the mole ratio. So this time, I'm going to change my compound. So which compound are we going to change it to? What did that ask us for? SCNF2. So SCNF2 goes on the top line. Now, if they wanted moles, which is what we just did, we'd stop there. But they didn't ask for moles this time, they asked for what? So this time I have to go one more section. So what goes on the bottom? The moles of SCNF2, so it can cancel out. And then again, are we changing compound? No, because we already did it. So again, this is what? Not a ratio. So if that's not the mole ratio, can I change the compound? No. So I'm going to have the same compound again. So what compound is going on top? That's the NF2. So when you look at your chart, the only place that you can have a different compound top and bottom is where? In the mole ratio. Where it says moles over moles, that's the only place my compound is different on the top and the bottom. Does everybody see that? Okay. Now, you said a second ago, the only place I put in coefficients is where? The mole ratio. So what's in front of SCNF2? And in front of HF? That's it. Okay? So, moles to grams. What do moles get? All right, and then I need grams. How do I find grams? Got to calculate them, add them up. So HF, how many H's are there in HF? H has a 1, F has a 19. So we get 1, we get 19 for a grand total of 20. SN has 1, F has 2, times 19, 119, because I'm lazy and not using the decimals, 38, 7, carry my 1, 157. And again, if I was doing that on answer keys, I would use the decimal. I would have, because that was, like if it's a 117 or 119.9, I would probably use the 120. But if it's got a 0.5 or a 0.6 or something like that, I don't generally round up on it. Okay? 157. I got 117.75 and I need what? 4 significant digits. So 117.8. Question. All look okay?
I like these better than the. All right.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I like you.
Let's do this one. Now. Oh, did I need to go back and everybody caught up? Now, I want you to notice something on this equation. I get this every year. If I put a coefficient in the equation, please don't ask me if I balanced it right. I promise you, I did not balance it wrong for you. Okay? If I put a coefficient in the equation, balance it correctly. Every year I balance something on a test, and people come up to me during the test and go, Ms. Wall, are you sure you balanced that correctly? I promise. Even as much fun as it would be to play with y'all, I would not balance it wrong on the test just to screw with you. Even though it would probably amuse me great, I would not do it to you.
That's why I'm better for it.
Okay.
Years ago, like, we don't play against you, we don't play against you. They're just like, oh yeah, I would fight you.
I promise. No. The idea is for y'all to do well, not to fail. Is the general idea. Sometimes I'm not as successful as I like to be, but I do try.
Therefore, if you break that promise, you stop.
No.
That's how it works out. What? That's why it's called.
All right, George is never doing that again. Nor am I. Don't worry.
I promise. You can't touch my TV, but I promise. Yeah, and I break that promise.
All right. So, without writing in any weird notes this time, what goes on the bottom? What kind of H2O? Grams of H2O. All right. What are we putting on the top? Moles of. Can we change compounds grams to moles? No, because it's not a mole ratio. So I got to put water back on top, right? I can only have different compounds top and bottom if the units say what? I can only change these compounds if the units say what? Moles. And they don't say moles. All right, so what's going on the bottom? Moles of H2O. What am I putting on the top? I'll just tell me you can do it. Okay. So we changed our compound there. Moles of what they wanted, which was ammonium nitrate, NH4NO3. Because they're on grams. Grams is always 4 charts. So moles of NH4NO3 on the bottom. What goes on top? Of. All right. What goes beside moles of ammonium nitrate? Goes here. And here. Here. And here. Remember, moles of grams are always 1. The mass of water is 18. Ammonium nitrate is going to be 14, 28, 4, 32, 32, plus 48 is 80, I thought. Yep, 80. A lot of years knowing the masses. $73.3 if I punched them right. You can, but I don't care if it's repeating as long as you have the right significant digits. Now, for homework, I'm going to give you a couple, 2 different things. All right. Fabulous if you did all that. I'm done signing all that homework. Dang.
I knew you were going to do that too. I had a feeling.
You did it. Of what? That's over all that time.
I always like that. So you write into the question.
All right, the worksheet that I'm handing you right now, I want you to do all 5. All right, the one that you already have in your possession, I want you to do number 2 and number 4.
Oh, you talking
So the one that's on the back, I want you to do 2 and 4. And the one that says review sheet, I want you to do 1 through 5. Now, the reason I want you to do 1 through 5 is these 5 have all 4 types mixed up. Okay? Of yesterday and today's mixed up. Okay?
I'm here tonight. You know what? I shot out.
Or there's two people who actually need a pass, or if you know who are, this is something else.
Well, can I get breakfast back?
Can I go in?
You know, I have to go back that thing. I'm kidding.
There's Kendall and Danielle. I'm gonna take this.
Oh, man. I have my headphones. I'm so happy before. I have my headphones.
There's one queen.
Oh, okay, so, the first question, you have to, know why did they, the Confederation, not give a lot of power to the.
I don't know.
The next question is, how did the national government always, first question was for the article, and question is, what is, voter requirements under one? Okay, the next one is, yeah, and the next question is, question one, is like, yeah, the one is like, which country helped, with rebel, the other one with, like, there was, which treaty, and, national revolution, which is treaty with that, and we have a gift. Yeah. One question, 5 to 6, can I get it done? I got yours. Okay. Well, can you hand it to me? No. So this calculation, when you can make it, but by the time you got to the party, you're in this 45 bucks. I was like, I was doing the ball. I guess I'll take it. No, exactly.
Davion Anderson, please come to the main office. Davion Anderson, to the office, please.
Exactly. And not lowering my head. I've got no issue with not lowering my head. There's the ball. Y'all even get your ass over. Exactly. Exactly. So I know how to